Good evening, welcome back, and thank you for joining me on today's episode of Connections with Kenyatta Collins. We're gearing up for election season. Coming up, I'll have an interview with a man who's looking to bridge the gap in his community. Hear this U.S. Senate candidate's plan for an effective change. Also, men, I specifically want you to see this next story. It holds a value that I know for sure you will understand, and many of you may be able to relate to. That and much more when we return from this break. You're watching Connections with Kenyatta Collins. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Fred Jeff Smith, pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Shiloh is a traditional church with the timeless message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean that we don't have something that will entice and intrigue you. We have a wonderful music ministry. We have wonderful children's ministries. We have a fabulous Christian education ministry. We're reaching out to you, inviting you to come and be a part of the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. We want you to come and check us out. You'll be glad that you did.
Are you suffering from substance abuse? Has your addiction taken over your life and left you defeated? Don't give up hope. The New Hope Outpatient Substance Clinic can help you achieve abstinence from addiction. Call 225-926-7911 today and begin your journey towards a better life.
Fellas, raise your hand if you've had the same barber since childhood. Then I know you will love this next story. Check it out. If there's one place in the Black community that holds a precious, almost mythical status, it is this place. Known as the barbershop to some, but for others it's a place of peace, a second home, and a place of healing for many.
The culture of the barber game has changed so much because I'm 43 now. And, they have the 20 and 25-year-olds coming in, and it's almost our time to get out of here, and they have their own style, So
most of everybody only feel good until they have a haircut, no matter what the situation be.
The culture within the Black barbershop can be traced back decades ago, when Black men were only afforded limited opportunities in life. The barbershop became the place to reassert manhood and freely express opinions.
Because normally when people come to the barbershop, they come to the barbershop to express themselves, to say what's on their chest, get some stuff out that they've been holding in all week.
Some men only look at it their way, so when they get to talking amongst other men in the shop, they kind of see different angles of it. So, it's kind of cool. It's like a family in here.
Each barbershop is tailored with its own personal touch, establishing bonds that last a lifetime.
As you can see here, have a little bit of everybody. It's family friendly. I keep an open area so we can have a lot of crowd interaction. You can talk to your clients. They come to the barbers and tell us problems. We sports. So that's why I have a sports thing, So we have something to talk about, A little bit of everything. Talking about everything here.
Being a barber is a huge task that holds sentiments of value for one barber.
I had since I was like 12 years old. Started off back home in Africa. Started as a joke, and then come in America. And the people telling me I can actually do this for a living. I didn't believe it, because coming from Africa, you have a three choice to be in the house: lawyer, doctor, engineer. Barber was not an option. So Dad forced me to go to school, and I'm glad I did that. I do this for a living now. It means a lot because the barber shop is like an open floor for everybody. They can really come express what they're feeling. To me, cut hair is just more than having clippers. I like to have one-on-one connection with my clients, and so we can talk. This is not customer, this is my clients to me. When you walk in the door, you're a customer. After I cut your hair a couple of times, now you're my client, so we have a one-on-one personal connection. So I open up, and they open up to me. It's more important.
If you were unaware, the bond between a barber and his client is a pretty big deal.
What I've learned more than anything as a barber, we have to learn how to deal with people more than things changing, because people come here, all walks of life. You have people come here on drugs. You have people, you don't never know what the situation is with them. And you have to learn to be diversity, how to have diversity in your life.
Man, this shop like a country club, you know. They come here, you know, some of them just love coming here just sitting down talking. It ain't really about getting no haircut.
Black barbershops provide more than just the cut and shave, but it also serves as a sounding board for many of its patrons.
We family oriented. We cut everybody, you know, little kids to older men. We do a number. We do eyebrows for the women, tapers for the women, undercuts, kids cuts. We just all around.
I have watched a lot of kids grow. I have got closer with their parents. You know, you build relationships and become like a family instead of a client, you know. And in this community right here where I'm at, a lot has changed since the flood in 2016. So, you know, you have different faces, different people move around the neighborhood. And it just be a nice experience to get to talk to different people, you know, throughout the day, throughout the week, you know. And it'd be a blessing for them to come back, you know. And I thank them for it.
For Connections, I'm Kenyatta M. Collins.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gerard Robinson Sr., pastor of the McEwen Baptist Church, and I want to invite you and your family to join the McEwen family in our worship experience. We have a number of ministries and outreach programs that's sure to strengthen your walk with Christ. I'm asking you to take the next step in your walk with Christ by joining us at the McEwen Baptist Church. We look forward to seeing you there.
With the rise of racism and peace being taken from the world, it leaves a person to wonder, what's going on in the world? Sadly, these things are not going away. Read The Dog Whistleblower to find the link between racism and the coming Armageddon.
Staff and faculty treated my kids like they were their own.
Shiloh is a place where, you know, your kids can come and be themselves.
The staff is very open to things that the parents have to say.
To enroll your child in Shiloh's Early Learning Academy, call 225-343-4734.
Good evening and welcome to Connections with Kenyatta Collins. Joining me on today is a local man that is looking to leave a positive footprint throughout the community, and he needs your help. Today I have with me Mr. Antoine Pierce. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you for joining me. We know that you are a man that wears many hats.
Yes.
I know you're busy, you're an actor, you're in the community, you're a political guy, you're a father. Where do we begin?
Oh my God. Well, we start with the community. I think that's you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Definitely takes a village.
And I mean, nowadays it takes so much more. You know, it takes a lot of different things. And so I think my work in the community has been driven by myself being a father and wanting my child to be raised in an environment where he lives a higher quality of life. Wanting him to have, as most parents do, much more than I had an opportunity to have. So my interest into the political fray has been motivated by my wanting to be a great father and a leader to him, and let him see me do something positive so he have something to follow behind.
Awesome. So when you talk about your time in politics, where did it all begin?
Oh my God. Well, probably as a teenager. So I would say for most of my life, I've been doing community work, little things, you know, starting out just watching other politicians and being a student and watching them move in the community and the connections that they were making. And I decided to get into community organizing and civic engagement and teaching people about these positions and what they entail and how important they are in our community and the power that we have to affect change without necessarily even going into politics, although I think politics will never go away and it's extremely important. But I just wanted to empower people even as a young person, so I started making these connections and following politics and just keeping abreast of what's going on, because it has such an influence on our lives. It makes such a difference in our lives that I just wanted to do something even as a teenager to have some impact on that. So I started working in the community, mobilizing people, educating people on what I learned about politics, which is an ongoing thing I'm always learning too. So that's where it started.
Here recently, what are some of the things in the community you've dabbled with?
Well, of course, I went to Strum High. I grew up in that community. We affectionately know it as that dirty. I graduated from that dirty. And I grew up in that community. I walked to school. And so little of it has changed. That was 20 years ago. And so, literally 20 years ago. And so little of it has changed. And that has such an impact on me because I want to see it change, and I think people have become disengaged because they've seen so little change. And we're not talking about people that stay home and don't work and don't vote. These are people that are very active in the community, that vote, that work, that do these things. And still, to them, it hasn't changed much. So I really wanted to do something to help and lift them up, because I think that there's this sort of negative stereotype about people that live in middle-class communities or people that live in what we would consider to be poverty-stricken communities, is that, oh, well, they're just lazy, or, they're just takers, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. These are people that are working full-time jobs, that are taking care of their kids, that are providing for their families, and they may not have the time really to focus on politics. So what I want to do is bring it to them and break it down in a way that's easy to understand and say, hey, this is how this is keeping food off of your table. Here's some of the things that you can go down to the Metro Council or to the state capitol and fight for and lend your voice to, because they directly impact all of us, but more particularly people that live in those communities every single day. So.
And because politics is so important to you, correct politics is so important to you. You are embarking on, you're preparing to embark on a new journey. Let's talk about that.
Yes, politics has always been an important part of my life, but I think when people say the word politics or politician, it has this sort of negative connotation. But politics isn't a bad thing. It's the people, sometimes it's the people who are the driving forces. It's the voices that are elevated that give politics this sort of negative connotation. But it isn't. It's something that will never go away, and I say this all the time. Politics permeates every aspect of our lives, even if it's something we choose to ignore. You can name anything in this life, and I can point to how politics affects it. Even food on your kitchen table, having a job that pays fair wages and these sorts of things. So politics permeates every aspect of our life. So I decided that rather than talk about it, I'm going to do something about it. And that was a decision for me to go into politics. Now, this next phase of my life, of course, this year I'm involved in the major election, a United States Senate. It's a statewide election, so everyone in the state can vote for me, hopefully. And I want to give them a reason to. I want to earn their vote, not tell them, hey, vote for me because of X, Y, and Z. I want to earn their vote on the basis of my policies, because I'm fighting for universal health care and these types of things, universal paid family leave, so that families don't have to pull from their Social Security or pull from their earned income credit in order to take off and take care of their loved ones if they get sick or if they have a child. Universal health care, because I believe that no one in the wealthiest country on the planet, which we always brag about, the highest GDP on the planet, should go without health care coverage. Not access to health care, because that's another thing. Health care coverage. And people are sick in this country, and they should not have to worry about rationing their prescription medications or how they're going to pay for their prescription medications. They should not go bankrupt or die trying to ration that. So I think that we should be taking care of them, that health care is a basic fundamental right. So these are types of things that I'm going into politics for, because I believe that we need people that understand, that are in touch with our middle class, that are in touch with people that are in poverty. And I know it's taboo to say poverty and poor in politics, but we have to address poverty. It's extremely important. A large percentage of our country lives at or below the poverty line. and everybody else is lower middle class. You know, when you have 1%, you have 3 people owning more wealth than the bottom 99% of people. So this is problematic, you know. And so my intention to go to Washington, D.C. in the United States Senate and fight for people that probably feel that their voices are unheard, that have become disengaged and become disenfranchised from politics because to them, it's not working for them. I'm still poor. I'm still in the middle class. I haven't gotten a raise on my check in 20 years, you know, and yet I see all these people living a life. You know, we talk about stock prices, and you know, you watch the late news and they're talking about NASDAQ and Dow and the stock prices, but most people can't own stock because you need disposable income to do that. So my objective is to go in and to take care of those people because I'm there. I'm still there, and I recognize the plight of the middle class in this country and how they've been pulled in so many directions. So that's why I'm going to the United States Senate, because I want to fight for people like me.
You know, I was reading online before I got here earlier today about minimum wage in Louisiana. What are your views on that?
It's horrendous. Well, Louisiana doesn't have a state minimum wage. We rely on the federal minimum wage. So other states are taking it upon themselves to put their own state minimum. But we rely on the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour. $7.25 an hour. So this is ridiculous. We haven't seen a raise in the federal minimum wage since 2009. So that's a decade. Now, 2020, over a decade since minimum wage has been increased by the federal government. But we've seen prices increase. We've seen no response to inflation and these types of things. All the prices have gone up, but the wages that companies are required to pay you haven't. Why? Because when you own the referees, you always win the game. You never lose a game. So if you have corporations that are able to pay politicians to keep the minimum wage low, extremely low, then they win, but the working person doesn't. Now, what excuse do they use? They say, well, it's the job, they're the job creators, so they should be able to maintain a ridiculous profit at the expense of using their workers as a commodity. But the problem is that these people are not the job creators. The consumers are the job creators. If you had no one working for you, and if you had no one buying your product because the people that work for you, then you wouldn't have a job to create. So I think what we need to do is take care of the employees, take care of those workers who go 40 hours a week. And it's so crazy because those people that are struggling, that work 40 hours a week or more in most cases, or work 2 or 3 jobs in most cases, the wealthy will say to them, pull yourselves up. But that's what we're trying to do, but you taking away my boots. So how can I pull myself up with no boots, no straps, no anything? I'm walking around barefooted, and you're telling me pull yourself up. Meanwhile, you're getting more welfare than any of us. So we have companies like Amazon, AT&T, the 60 largest, wealthiest corporations on the planet pay 0 in taxes. 0. Oh yeah, see, most people don't know this. Politics permeate every aspect of your life. Jeff Bezos and Amazon paid 0 in federal taxes. Now, how is it that a company that profits billions of dollars, billions with a B of dollars, and makes billions of dollars in profit pays 0, but you and I, who work every day, pay more taxes than a trillionaire? How is it? Because if you own the referees, you never lose a game. These corporations can pay politicians ungodly amounts of money through PACs to keep their seats and make sure that their profit margins stay high. And not only that, we give you a tax cut. We give you multi-billion-dollar corporations tax cuts, and we say to the little guy, we say to the middle class, good luck, pull yourself up. So at the end of the day, my objective is to go in and protect the little guy. It's to protect the middle class family and say, no, we need to be giving permanent tax cuts, not to the corporations, which we did in 2017. We need to give the permanent tax cuts to the middle class and continue to help them and to build them up, because they are the consumers and they're their employees. So they're checking off 2 of those boxes. We need to take care of those guys. These guys will be fine. Let's say we repealed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which added $1.9 trillion to the deficit. So what do they say? They say, well, our deficits are too high. No, let's not repeal the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which allowed these corporations to pay zero in income tax. We need to cut these guys. We need to cut food stamps and Medicaid, Medicare. We need to cut Social Security. So to them, the poor and the middle class are low-hanging fruit, because we're less likely to be politically involved. So they'll cut resources to them and save a couple billion. But we just added 1.9, almost $2 trillion to the deficit, giving wealthy people their money back. So who are the real welfare queens? These guys or these guys? So at the end of the day, I'm going in to fight for the middle class, for the people that are living in poverty, that have given up on our system of government, that don't believe that people actually care about their living and care about their lives. So that's why I'm going to the United States Senate.
Okay, so how can my connectors, those are my viewers, my connectors, help you win Congress?
Well, word of mouth is everything. Okay. I have a website. It's www.antoinepierce.com. Okay. And it's Antoine spelled the French way, A-N-T-O-I-N-E, Pierce, like pierce your ear, P-I-E-R-C-E.com. So you can find me you can go to my website and connect with me there if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate to our campaign. You can go there. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I have a public page on Facebook, all under my name. So you can find, if you search any of those, you'll find me there. And I'm actually verified on Twitter. I just recently got the blue check. So, yeah. Oh. It's official now. But yeah, so you can find me on all those social media, my website and everything. Because the more people that get involved, the more, because this is a true grassroots campaign. We're traveling all across the state. We're not trying to build a social media following. We're trying to connect with voters. But if people help us get the word out and tell us where to go, they say, hey, look, maybe you should go and talk to this church or this community organization or whatever. We're there. We're going. That's why we're here. We want to talk. We want to connect with every single person we possibly can to tell them the good news about our campaign and what it is that we're trying to do and who we're fighting for. So.
Do you have any events locally coming up that we could possibly attend?
Well, I don't really know, honestly. We're going to be posting as much as we can out on social media and on through the website as they kind of come up. We do host, and I will be hosting several civic engagement courses where people can come out absolutely free, come out and learn about these positions, because I noticed that on social media a lot of people reach out to me and ask me questions about who they should vote for, and I don't want to tell you who to vote for unless it's me. I'm going to tell you go and vote for me, but I don't want to pick your ballot for you. I want you to understand what's at stake so you can make an educated decision and you can inform other people. I can give you a fish or I can teach you how to fish, and I prefer to teach you how to fish by telling you, look, this is what these politicians stand for. This is what the Democratic Party means. This is what the Republican Party means. Here's what it means to be independent. Here's what the state reps do, the Metro Council does. Here's what our sitting congressmen do. Here are the decisions that they've made recently. So people can say, wow, okay, if these politics permeate every aspect of my life, they affect everything I do. So I need to understand what decisions these people are making, how I can hold them accountable. Okay, so you go and vote. And you vote for these people, you're not done. You're not finished. That's just a little bitty blip on your responsibility. So now you have to hold them accountable. You have to follow the decisions that they make. And granted, I work a 9 to 5. Most people work 40 hours a week. They don't have time to follow that, but it's important. It's extremely important, especially on the things that matter to you. You can't follow every little decision they make, but the things that matter to you, those kitchen table issues that matter to you, how you gonna raise your minimum wage, how you gonna pay for health care, or should you have to pay for health care, these types of things are important. So you need to be following on every level what they do, and that's what I'm doing. So we're gonna be putting that information out too. So we're going to be traveling all over the state for this upcoming year, connecting with people. So if you follow me on social media, or if you go to our website and send us your information, we're going to make sure you stay abreast of what's going on.
Be sure to follow the website and put in that information so that you can be a part of a winning team. Thank you, Mr. Pierce, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I'm Brandon Griffin, aka Mr. Grip.
I'm Bentley, the Hip Hop Barber Pole.
The Hip Hop Barbershop offers the best haircuts.
We service ladies too, Grip.
Ladies, we can do your eyebrows and your cut as well.
We welcome walk-ins, but tell them about the online booking.
That's right, you can book an appointment online as well, or give us a call at 225-252-7773.
We know the flavor, neighbor.
Hello, I'm Pastor Leo D. Cyrus, inviting you to share with us in our worship service. New Hope continues to do God's work in our community through weekly worship services and Bible studies. Our ministry has several outreach programs that serve the people of our community. Come be a part of our church family. We'd love to have you.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to drop me a line or two. Connections with Kenyatta Collins on all social media platforms. Until next week, be good to yourself and others, and I look forward to seeing you right here, same place, same time, same channel. Have a great week.